Yeah, welcome you guys, and the ones I can see the faces and the ones that I can't. So welcome again. And yeah, my intention is just to continue for today, continue this exploration of mindfulness and how may it be helpful to you. And the last time we kind of went through the like an introduction just to get to know what is this all about. And now today I would want to uh, maybe go a bit deeper into how can we through mindfulness learn to cope maybe better with our emotions and also our thoughts and chaotic minds. And I also wanted to talk about being kinder to ourselves and taking better care of ourselves, and especially if you are a caregiver. And as I understood, there are quite many of you that are caring. Maybe you have a family member or any someone close to care for, and it's extremely important to be able to learn to how we can take care of ourselves. It's just crucial. Uh, yeah. And please just stop me, ask questions, and also because it's quite a small group, so please just like come in with the things that you are interested in and comment, and that in that way it just becomes so much more, um, it creates more learning for all of us, so please do. Okay, so I think actually we will just start by just a few minutes, maybe 2 minutes of a small short practice of just arriving. So I can share my screen just so you can see. And if you remember, and if you didn't attend the last time, this is a good place to just have a reminder. Um, in mindfulness, we are really practicing to move out of the thinking mind and into the sensing mode. And most of us we struggle a lot with being lost in thought, being lost in thoughts about the future and being lost in thoughts about the past. And in that way, we kind of miss out on the life and the beauty, but also the difficulties that are here now. And I will share more later about why it's not such a good idea to kind of just rush through all the difficulties, and to really to pause and and be present also with the difficulty. But anyway, just to keep this model in mind while we just spend a couple of minutes to just arrive. So I invite you to you can just sit exactly as you are sitting, but maybe close your eyes. And how would it be to just like make a pause and to really feel your body sitting? And maybe if your feet are touching the ground, just really feeling into the contact, feeling into whether you are warm or cold. Maybe softening, maybe it's like if you can release just the obvious tension. Maybe there's some tension in the shoulders, maybe the jaw, and maybe the forehead, the skin between the eyebrows. Taking a breath. And again, feeling your seat against the chair and the whole body sitting. And then gently just return the attention to the screen, to the group. So this is one way of just making like a slight pause in our daily, usual rush that many of us live in. And when I say like rush and stress and being busy, it doesn't necessarily have to be because we have so much to do. It might as well just be in our minds. And you may know like how the mind just gets so busy, thinking, lost in thoughts. So I wanted to ask you whether I'm just stopping the sharing the screen, and I just wanted to ask you if you if you tried out the practice, or if you had any reflections or any questions from the last time. I just wanted to make space if there is any, and if not, we just move on. Yeah, Vladimir.
Okay, so no, we tried with my camel cow. He had a AD, but it was after yoga exercise. But the problem was that she can concentrate. The honest goes that she can't. She can close the eyes for 2 minutes maximum. It was the top. That's all what we tried.
Yeah, so just to see if I understood you correctly, so is your comment was that it's so difficult to keep the concentration? Is that it?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
She had a big problem to keep just to close the eyes, and when I tried to do more, she tried, but as I told, it was 2 minutes maximum.
Yeah.
Normally it was around 10 seconds, and she opened eyes and started to run.
Or this was your wife, Vlado, who
Yes.
has Huntington's, yeah, so she's quite symptomatic in a way, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because intuitively, I'm thinking this with closing the eyes. I mean, you have involuntary movement, so that shouldn't really be, I mean, paid so much attention to if they are closed or if she opens, because I mean, it may be hard for her, you know, to manage that also from a motor perspective, if you understand what I mean.
Yes. I want to try it. Maybe as Mary told, that the practice can help a little bit. So I tried to do something with this, and maybe she will find something that help her calm down and not to concentrate. Anyway, it was something like first day after webinar we tried. It was around 10 seconds, and we reached 2 minutes, so it's okay.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, as Astrid says, it really you don't have to close the eyes. You can perfectly fine just do the practice with your eyes open. So that's just choose what suits you or suits her. That's no problem. It's just to limit the distractions. So if you keep your eyes open, you can just like try to rest your gaze and not look at anything particular. Just like maybe lower the gaze. And when it comes to the concentration, it's really, that's what we are training. Um, and as I understand, that's also something that is impaired or damaged, can be damaged with the HD. So, but I think there was a neurologist here last time, and she's here maybe too, here, Shaima, and I think she said something about, yeah, there could be a possible This could be a way of training the mind, even though there is damage to the brain. But to say, we will, either way, with the diagnosis or not, you will face your own like lack of concentration. That's why this is a training of the concentration, training of the mind, training of the focus. So it's perfectly normal to see the mind just go everywhere, and then realizing that, and then coming back to the breathing or to the body. So it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong, or that you're doing the exercise wrong. It just means that you are perfectly normal. The mind will go off and the concentration will fade, and then coming back. So that is actually the training, the coming back, the coming back, and the coming back. And it is trainable. But of course, I don't know exactly how it will manifest in HD patients. Was that of help, Vladimir?
Yeah, thanks. It's clear. Thanks. We'll try it. So what more we can do? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
You can even do shorter practices. 2 minutes, it's fine. 5 minutes is fine. Doesn't have to be 10. Yeah. So are there any other questions, comments, experiences that you had since the last time? Okay. Then I will move on. Okay. So just to remind you, this is like the one of the main models to just keep in mind. We are really practicing to come into the body, into the sensing. And this you can do, this you can do anywhere. It doesn't have to be a practice like listening to an audio file. It can be just now, sitting in the chair, feeling the skin of your face, listening to the sound of my voice. And also, especially helpful when we are in communication with other people and people that we might live together with, or children or pets or whatever, to really to be present. It really makes a huge difference. Yeah. So, and I also just wanted to, I didn't show you this the last time, but it's again a model just to understand what is actually happening when we practice more awareness and mindfulness. If you see the first line here, what is usually happening is that when we have some kind of stress, it could be anything. Most of us we have some tendencies to just go straight to, like, there's an automatic reaction. We go on autopilot. It can be in terms of what we say, it can be of what we do, and it can also be just how we think. So maybe that's even most often the case. Like, there is a problem coming, and we have a tendency, for example, to overthink, to obsess, to be very caught up in our mind and worrying. And maybe, again, when we worry, we have more, we feel the anxiety, and then it just loops: more worry, more anxiety. That can be a kind of automatic reaction that we might not even be aware of to a degree. Like, things just happen. And over time, when we practice, if you would want to start doing this practice more regularly, what you will see is that with the awareness, you will find that there are more choices. So which means, again, this model, which means that when you realize that you are caught in thinking, maybe just like there's a problem or there's a worry, and you can't sleep, and you are awake at night, and all the, you get tense. When we have mindfulness and more presence, we can realize, okay, now I am caught in my thinking, and I'm caught in a loop. And, a lot of times it's not even possible to think our way out of problems, because there are things that there isn't any obvious solution. And what we need is, again, to come down into the senses, into the body. And especially when you are trying to sleep, this is really um, something to take with you, to really remember that in order to sleep, I have to stay present in my body. As long as I'm caught in my mind, worrying and, obsessing, there is no sleep happening. So to really practicing feeling the body, feeling the breath, even maybe doing very slow movements just in your hands or raising your arms, just to feel the body. It can be extremely helpful to reduce activation and stress. So anyway, I could say a lot about this, but I will just leave it. It's about becoming more conscious, and and realizing that there are more options, not just doing things on autopilot. Um, and we have many patterns, most of us, in how we live our days, in stress and concerns. And
Can I ask you a question about that, what you were saying in the previous, because I'm thinking when you really feel stressed or worried, or you get some thought about, oh, I should have done, or whatever it is. What you're saying here is that the awareness is about just observing and be more, what's going on in my body. It's not really to try to suppress what's going on, is it?
yeah,
Because that's what I want to do, I want to think, oh, don't worry so much, don't, relax.
yeah. Yeah, that's a great question, Astrid. So, what we usually do, as you say, what we usually do, that's also an usually automatic pattern, is that we try to push away, we try to stop our thinking, or we try to think about something else. So we say to ourselves, oh, I shouldn't think about this, oh, I should think about something else, or I should be grateful, or um, I should be positive. So we try to think our way, we try to meet our thinking with more thinking. And that doesn't help. It just doesn't help. So yes, instead of fighting, because it's actually what we do when we start like getting into a fight, like we want it different. It's like pushing to a wall, against a wall, and it just creates more tension. So yes, what we need to do is just move the attention. So I don't have to stop my thinking. I don't have to change my thinking. I can simply just move my attention in the body. And what will happen is, okay, so like now I can feel, okay, I'm sitting. Oh, I can feel my breath. And then I will start thinking again, and then I have to come back. And that's the training. And the more we train, the more uh, presence in the body we will have. It's the skill. Yeah, and also it becomes more available. So suddenly you can notice that you are maybe in some quite demanding situation, and suddenly you just realize, okay, you feel your breathing, or you feel the body, or you can actually hear the sounds, so yeah. Yeah, I will actually come even back to that in a short while. um, so I wanted to check with you guys if this is something that you recognize. And I've said, like, the heading here is some common challenges for caregivers, but this is actually, it doesn't have to be caregivers. It's just like being human. Some common challenges for being human, for humans. So you have this, exactly the one that we were talking about now, the overthinking, the rumination. Rumination means that you think about the same problem again and again and again. It just loops, trying to figure out, let's say if you have somebody close who is sick and you want to know, what can I do? How will it go? How can I fix this? Or if it's yourself, or if any worry, that's the rumination. And rumination is it's the, how can I say it? It's a, you can be if you do a lot of rumination, you are heading towards depression. It's the way through to depression. And as with worry is the way to anxiety. A lot of worry leads to anxiety. But at least these are some common challenges for all people. This overthinking and, painful emotions and the avoiding of painful emotions. And I have a question mark just to feel if this is correct for you. Like, same with when we have difficult thoughts, we want to push them away. And when we have difficult emotions, we also usually try to push them away because it's so painful and it's difficult, and what to do with them. So is that something that you recognize? Either if you care for someone, or if you are having health issues yourself, or just being human. And the last,
I can say
yeah,
that
come.
I definitely feel, I can see myself in all this, what you're saying, and it's something that I work with every day, and trying to be better, to listen to myself
Yeah,
in a nice way,
yeah,
and find things and thoughts and other ways to just to cope with all the feelings that I'm or caregiver, as I have HD, so it's double, but it's like you say, it's very common among us all.
yeah,
We all have like this problem, and we just need to find a good way to gather the thoughts in the brain,
yeah,
and try to keep it uh, in a good length.
yeah, yeah.
But it's hard.
It is. It is. Yeah, it's not easy, and but it's possible to train these skills. That's my main motivation of sharing this with people, because it's really possible. And I think I'm sorry that we are not learned this. We could have learned something about this in school, for example. How to train our minds, how to cope better with thoughts and feelings.
Yeah.
So, but there's still possibilities. Yes, it's not easy. It's not.
No, but I feel that exactly as you say, uh, that the more you train, and the more you yeah, let you know your own feelings, like, and trying to learn
Hmm. Yeah,
why do I respond to some things, and just try to yeah, it's so hard for me to explain.
yeah. But thank you for just commenting. And what I plan to do the rest of the time is to really to see if we can just explore, okay, what can we do with the overthinking, and how can we relate to emotions, and how can we train ourselves to be kinder. So my plan is to just go and see, to explore these 3 points. So please just come back, Teresa, and ask or comment.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so the last one here is just the being self-critical, and of not, if you're a caregiver, not doing enough, not doing the right things, and the things you're doing maybe not good enough, or not enough time spent, or whatever. And this is also pervasive for the most of us, just this feeling of not being good enough or doing enough. So I would want to go further into these topics here. And the first one, actually, we just covered it, but I will go a bit further. When we are caught in overthinking, I really hope for you just to remember this model, because it's about, and thanks to Astrid just pointing out that it's not about fighting our thinking. We have normal, healthy minds, and they think, and they worry, and they ruminate, and they obsess, and that's fine. We don't have to change that. What we need is just to realize that we have another option. And I think that's the problem, that we don't know that there's an option. And the option is the sensing coming to the body, because the body is always present, and the thinking is always not present. It's either the past or the future. So I want to take you through, like, again, a short exercise, maybe only 3-4 minutes, just for you to have an actual experience of what we are talking about. So again, it's just about starting to feel the body sitting. And yeah, here you can close your eyes, or you can just lower the gaze, like, so you try to rest and relax the eyes. And taking a breath, like a conscious breath in and out. And see if you can notice just where can I sense contact. Can I sense contact with the chair? Contact with the floor, my feet. And maybe if the hands are in the lap, also just sense the contact of the hands touching the legs, the thighs. And now feeling your breath. And no need for breathing any particular way. You don't have to breathe deeply or better in any way, just to notice, okay, there's my breath. Maybe you can sense it in your belly or in the chest. Or maybe in the nose, the nostrils. And see now if you can practice on your own, just when the mind wanders, when you lose connection with the body and the breath, And without striving, without too much effort, just to see, like, when you notice, you come back to the body and you feel the breathing. So just leave a space of silence for you to just see how that could work for you. And gently just noticing, where is your attention right now? Was it thinking, or was it in the body? And no need for judgments or being critical. Again, just knowing that the minds, they think, it's just what the minds do. And this is a training of the mind. So again, just a reminder, no need to fight your thoughts, no need to try to stop your thinking. Just come into the body, know how you're sitting, feeling the contact, feeling the pressure, the weight of your body. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes and just gently come back to the group. So please comment if you had any experience related to this difference between the thinking mode and the sensing mode, and how it was for you to maybe catch your thinking and then to come back, or anything else. Please comment if you have something.
Can I comment?
Yeah, and Dina afterwards.
Sorry, Dina first.
Okay.
That's okay. I can't see anybody, so I wasn't sure where.
Go ahead, my friend.
Yes, I was able to stay in my mind, not spring, not, I actually was able to block out other sounds and just concentrate on my own breathing and brought myself back. And I think this is really a great exercise, but more for people who are in the early stages or pre-symptomatic. For somebody who's in the middle stages or the end stages of the disease, is not something I think that they would be able to do. But this is, I think everybody should be practicing this beforehand, so that then your brain is trained.
Yeah.
Or when you do then become symptomatic.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Dina. That makes sense. And I'm not an expert in HD, but that totally makes sense. Yeah. Thank you.
Can I ask something?
Sure.
Is it possible to have this difference between sensing and thinking, but not in a calm state? I mean, I usually overthink all those things you've mentioned I have all of those, but usually what I do is start moving with intention, and this gives me a bigger focus on my body instead of my mind. For example, doing Tai Chi or something like physical exercise.
Yeah.
Is it possible to link mindfulness to physical exercise and to sports?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And you know, these body practices as Tai Chi, Qigong, yoga, they're all like they have the same fundament in terms of it's about being present in the body while compatible. Yes, and also sports and even just walking. Just I see my. Can you hear me?
Yes.
You were
Yeah.
falling in and out, so but now I think it's better again.
Yeah. Checking. But even just by going for a walk or yeah, it could be anything just to come into the body. It's really the point because the body is present.
Mm-hmm.
And many people also find that it's easier to be present while doing some movements.
Mm-hmm.
And especially if you are quite activated and have a lot of stress, it's maybe easy, it's better for a lot of people to just move a bit and do slow walking, slow Tai Chi, slow Qigong. Yes.
I have a second question, which is, I think, a little bit related to what Dina said. If your body is not feeling well, I mean physically well, can this focusing your attention in your body, can it get worse, the aching or the pain or the problems? Can it make them more severe, or can it be problematic instead of helping? It makes it more troublesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I understand what you're asking. And yes, it can in a way, but not maybe not in a dangerous way. But there's something about when we really pay attention to, let's say I have an ache in my shoulder. When I really pay attention, yes, immediately my pain may seem worse. But it doesn't mean that that it's dangerous or not good for me, but it can be like I feel it more intensely. So this is a good question, because when you work with pain, it's about finding a balance, because sometimes what we usually do, as with thoughts, as with emotions, and also with pain, we try to avoid. We try to, turn away. We try to distract. We try to do or think about something else. And sometimes that's really what we need. But also sometimes we actually need to really meet and to really explore and to go into the pain. And in that way, we can also find some soothing, because there's so much energy. It takes a lot of energy to always push away, to ignore, to avoid. But it's a delicate thing, because sometimes we really need to turn away, but sometimes we need to go into also where the pain is.
Okay.
Does it make sense, Philippa?
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you.
But it's a whole. It's like it's an how to put it. It's, I mean, working with pain is a huge topic within mindfulness, and it's really it has to be. We have to work with it skillfully. Sometimes coming closer, sometimes moving away. So it could be a presentation of itself. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Astrid, did you have a question still?
Yeah, well, maybe a question, I don't know, but it's really interesting because today I'm quite stressed. So I've been in a kind of I don't know if I should mention it or call it a conflict or something not pleasant situation. And so here I'm sitting, I really feel it, and it goes into my stomach. And when you did the practice now a few minutes ago, I feel it's really uncomfortable to feel this stomach, you know, being so stressed and painful in a way, and also a lot of tense in my body. So I was feeling okay. I want to breathe, but maybe for me also to go out walking or do something physically just to I don't know, de-stress the tension or something could also be good in addition to try to sense what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for sharing. It's such a common experience, and very, I mean, it's a good question also related. Again, it's connects to what Philippa asked, because okay, what to do when we go into the body and we sense, and what we sense is actually uncomfortable, unpleasant. How to be with that. And it's wise to have different like ways of handling. Yes, sometimes I need a walk, sometimes I need movement, sometimes I need a friend, you know, sometimes I need a hug. But mindfulness, it really offers, again, it's this way of approaching instead of avoiding. And if we know that we have a tendency of always avoiding, like every time I have this like upset stomach, or I feel the tension in my stomach, and I, you know, the small like the light headache, and I just, you know, try to distract myself, maybe it could be an option to really to see, can I come closer? Can I sit and I can feel the tension, and I can, and also with kindness, you know, just to okay, can I be present with this? Can I just give it a moment and see what is here, instead of turning away immediately? So the notion is that when we approach also the uncomfortable, we kind of process it instead of just stacking it up and you know, under the rug, all the things that we don't want to feel. And to some point, at some point, there will be like an explosion, or yeah. So, but it's not a yes no solution. It's just to be more aware, to know when is what needed. Maybe I need to really see, can I come closer to this discomfort, or can I, or do I actually need to just really, you know, sometimes you just have to watch Netflix and just numb out. It's just, you know, sometimes that is what we need. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for bringing so much questions. Dina, yes, please.
Just to comment also to one of the other slides you said about being self-critical and not everything is not good enough. That is something that I've struggled a lot with, and because I like to be busy and you know, have everything in order, you know, have my house tidy. But I've come to the point now that there are days that I'm tired and I need to rest, and I do. But then when I do, I then feel guilty. Okay, I should have been doing this and I should have been doing that, and I shouldn't. And it's very, I'm getting better at not feeling the guilt, but it's taken a while to think, okay, this is not being selfish. This is what's important to me. And I need to listen to what my body wants. And if others don't agree, then that's up to them.
Yeah. Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, what a great It's a great piece of work you are exploring. I will show you an exercise that might be appropriate for that kind of, feeling the guilt, starting doubting whether is this okay that I put some limits or boundaries to myself. And I will show you an exercise after the break that could be good, and also related to your question, Astrid. Yeah, thank you, Dina. So I will just see where I'm at, if we should have a break. I want to show you one more slide before we take a break, and it's this one. So, whether we are caregivers or not, just, whatever role we have, but this is kind of central. It's how to keep and how to give sustainable care. And it's about caring for yourself while caring for another or others. So if you see in this model, you actually have 3 sides. And we are usually just focused on this. Like, we know how to extend care, to give care. Many of us are well trained in how to give care. And then we have this element, which is receiving care. Do I have anywhere during my days, my weeks, my months, where I allow myself to receive care from the people that I live with, or friends, or could be a therapist or a mentor, or it could be in any form, massage, or I don't know, but just where do I receive care for my pet? And also the last piece, cultivating self-care. So there are a few research programs that have been looking into this, especially related to school teachers and also health workers. How can we help people to be able to really to not be burned out while also being in a caring profession? And I think it applies to all of us. For me, it was an eye opener to also reflect on, okay, what about this receiving care, and how do I cultivate self-care? So I think I just want to leave you with this, and we will have a break. Astrid, for how many minutes would you say?
I think we just need a few minutes, I think. I think 5 minutes is okay. Then it's 35 minutes left when we come back. So 5 minutes, everybody?
Yes.
Good. See you in a bit.
Yes.
See you later.
Okay, guys. So I want to now share a video that I find very strong and very appropriate, connected to when we talk about how to be with emotions. And this video is how it's pointed. It's in the perspective of how do we meet. I think the title is how to meet grief, like a grieving friend, but it relates to all emotions. So how do we meet people that are in intense emotions? What do actually help? And what I want you to think of while you watch is that it's just the same with how to relate to my own feelings. It's the same principles. Like, so you can have in mind, like, what helps, what is actually supportive in how I relate to my own emotions and feelings and moods. So I want to share, and I want your comments afterwards if you have any, but just please sit back and have a look. It's about 4 minutes, I think. So just a second. And I think you will be able to have the sound, but let me know if not.
So what do we do about all the pain we see in the world?
Could you hear that?
Yes.
Good. So it's just
All the pain we feel in our own lives? And why does it seem like our best efforts to help somebody feel better always backfire? I've been studying intense grief and loss, baby death, violent crimes, accidents, suicides, and natural disasters. And I've learned something really interesting. Cheering people up, telling them to be strong and persevere, helping them move on, it doesn't actually work. It's kind of a puzzle. It seems counterintuitive, but the way to help someone feel better is to let them be in pain. This is true for those giant losses and the ordinary everyday ones. Educator Parker Palmer writes, "The human soul doesn't want to be advised or fixed or saved. It simply wants to be witnessed exactly as it is." He's talking about acknowledgement here. Acknowledgement is this really amazing multi-tool. It makes things better even when they can't be made right. For example, somebody's struggling. Their baby died, or there's been a bad accident, or their mom got sick, and they're just sad. It's way more helpful to join them in their pain than it is to cheer them up. But here's what we tend to do instead. You have 2 other children, you need to find joy in them. Or, you know what you need? You just need to go out dancing and shake it off. Or, I felt really sad once. Did you try acupuncture? We're not really sure what to do with someone's pain, so we do what we've been taught. We look on the bright side. We try to make people feel better. We give them advice. It's not like this is nefarious. I mean, we try to cheer people up because we think that's our job. We're not supposed to let people stay sad. The problem is, you can't heal somebody's pain by trying to take it away from them. Now, acknowledgement does something different. When a giant hole opens up in someone's life, it's actually much more supportive to acknowledge that hole and let pain exist. It's actually a radical act to let things hurt. It goes against what we've been taught. In order to really support you, I have to acknowledge that things really are as bad as they feel to you. If I try to cheer you up, you end up defending yourself and your feelings. If I give you advice, you feel misunderstood instead of supported. And I don't get what I want either, because I wanted you to feel better. It's pretty rare that you could actually talk somebody out of their pain. Rarely does the admonishment to look on the bright side actually heal things for someone. It just makes them stop telling you about their pain. It's so tempting to try to make things better. When somebody shares something painful, it's much more helpful to say, "I'm sorry that's happening. Do you want to tell me about it?" To be able to say, "This hurts," without being talked out of it, that's what helps. Being heard helps. It seems too simple to be of use, but acknowledgement can be the best medicine we have. It makes things better, even when they can't be made right.
yes, Dina.
I completely agree with everything that video said. That was so right on about anyways, that was just my comment. Sorry.
Yes,
I felt
agree.
I felt emotional.
Yeah, me too.
yeah,
It was a really good one.
yeah, yeah. May I ask, and you see if you would want to answer, but is it because you are touched by, like, understanding and realizing what actually helps, and maybe also the times that people were not able to meet you in your pain, I'm just asking the whole group, like what touches you about the video?
I can start. I think it was. I feel that people often can't meet me in my pain. I think that was the real issue and the good one for me in this part.
Yeah.
Because I feel that I have quite easy to reconnect with people and meet them, I think, in a good way. But I often feel that people don't acknowledge what I feel, and I don't need a pep talk or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I just need someone to listen to me and understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Thank you.
I think really what I love with this, there was one comment that it makes things better even if it can't fix it or something like that. So yeah, because I think, I mean, Huntington's disease is happening and we cannot control it. And this wish of fixing makes maybe people, I don't know, helpless in a way, and then to just be there for each other can be so much, support and relief in that, and still maybe hard for people to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of people don't understand Huntington's disease, especially in the early stages, because people, they don't look sick. And so I think a lot of people don't acknowledge it, or will make comments like in what's in the video, oh, let's go out for a drink, it'll make you feel better, and that's not, I can see all those things now not being right after seeing this video.
Yeah.
I think it has a lot to do with empathy, no? With training empathy. Again, wearing the other person's shoes and understanding how it can feel like. I don't know. But this goes against all the rainbows of COVID-19, this message. I don't know. But it was interesting. It's a really interesting video.
Yeah. And I think what challenges us, I mean, I think of myself when I meet people that are really struggling, like family, friends, that really something really bad has happened. And I think what happens is, in order for me to really join them in their pain, I have to meet my helplessness. I need to meet my fear also, and especially if it's somebody close. I mean, maybe some of you are living with somebody with HD, and to meet that uncertainty and that fear and that helplessness. And I think that's also the reason why we don't join other people in their pain, because I will have to feel my pain, and then it's easier to just, let's think let's think of something else, or let's do something, or try to cheer them up or give advice. And I think it's so interesting how the movie shows, like, when we give advice and try all the things, we just create distance. The other one will just push us away, and we get lonely and the other person get lonely. There's something about, in order for me I mean, if I want to contribute to regulate the other person's emotions, I actually have to first regulate my own. I have to meet my own, I have to contain, and I have to tolerate my own emotions. I think that's a clue here why it's so difficult for us to actually meet people in their pain. Yes, Stina.
Sorry, me
No,
again.
that's perfect.
There was something once somebody said, and I thought and it ties in with this, is that, you know, we all struggle with things. Everybody has their own challenges, whatever in life, it doesn't matter what it is. But, you know, you may be having a bad day and somebody will say to you, oh, well, you know, look at so and so, their problems are so much more horrendous, you know, so why are you complaining about? But it doesn't matter if somebody else's problems are bigger, it's what your problem is at that time, and it can have a huge impact on you, and you shouldn't be belittling what you're feeling just because somebody else might be having a harder day than what's hard for you is for you.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it's the core. It's the core here. I will just take it a slide further just to show you the next one. Because yes, in order for me to, I mean, just to show you, it's the same here. Like for me to support another one in their pain, I have to acknowledge their pain. I have to validate their pain. And it doesn't matter, like the comparing doesn't matter. It's just the acknowledgement of their pain. And it could be just a small thing, you know, as we do with kids. I don't have my own, but I realize that when you try to raise kids, it's about really, you know, to meeting them. And when you actually are able to meet their emotions and their outbursts, it passes much more quickly. But if you resist and you say, no, 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 this is nothing, just get up, and you know, you don't have to cry about this. Usually the pain in them just lasts longer. So to be able to just meet it and really join it, then it just passes more quickly usually. But just to show you, it's the same whether it's another person or it's myself. So if I want to, and because mindfulness is about regulating and increasing our tolerance of emotions. But in order to do that, I have to let my pain exist. I have to let my emotions be acknowledged, be validated. I have to feel my pain and join myself in my pain. So I just find it to be such a good way of understanding what does it mean by looking at this video. It means really to not not try to cheer myself up, not try to distract myself, not uh, um, you know, trying to convince myself that this is nothing, or I should be happy, or whatever. To really, if I feel pain in some way, if it's guilt or fear, uncertainty, you know, shame, whatever emotion, it's what is here, and the only way to regulate it is to feel it. And this is a lot of research doing on this, been done on this now, and they say it's a phrase, they say name it to tame it. So there are like connections that are being made in our body and nervous system, that when we are able to touch it and see, okay, this hurts, yeah, this is fear, this is grief, and really to feel that pain, then there are connections made that also helps us metabolize and regulate. Of course, it needs some time, but it's the way that we go. Name it to tame it. So I really want to have time for an exercise, and although I would love for you to bring in your comments, but I think I want to make sure we do the exercise, and then please come back with questions, comments related, because it's an exercise connected to this. Okay, so how do we do this? How do we let our pain exist? So it's an exercise called the rain. And I will take you through it. And I also have a link later in the presentation, so you can come back to it if you, so don't worry if you don't get it, like all the guidance that I give. If you would want to do it later, I have a link so you can. But it's four steps, and I will take you through the steps, and it's simple, but it's about recognizing, allowing, acknowledging, investigating in the body. So as Astrid said earlier, like, oh, there's tension in my stomach, there's tension in my belly, like that's a typical like that's a typical thing to explore in the investigation in this practice. And then the nurture, which is about the kindness and the care that we are able to give ourselves. You know, we learn to regulate our emotions when we are, mostly when we are children, and we receive or we don't receive like the necessarily attention, the necessary what's how do I so we, you know, for the perfect emotional regulation, we need a lot of attention and we need a lot of care and you know, nurturing. But many of us didn't have like all that we needed. So then we have a chance now as adults to reparent ourselves, and it's a possibility, and this is one way that I will show you how we can take even better care of our emotional life. So guys, it's an invitation, and you do as you want. If this doesn't feel like something that fits you, you just sit and relax, and that's perfectly fine. But if you want to go with, you're welcome. So it's I think I will spend maybe 7 or 8 minutes. So I will take you through the steps, and we start by again just seeing if we can find our seats, find the body, closing the eyes if that's comfortable, and making this slight pause. Just stopping to kind of gather the attention, feeling, okay, I'm here, I'm sitting here, my body is here. Feeling the breath. And then I invite you to just scan and sense your life just as it is these days, these past weeks, and see if you can bring to mind a difficult situation, but not too difficult, because if it's too difficult, just this exercise just doesn't serve. So like a medium light or medium difficult situation. And it could be something in a relationship, like a conflict. It could be something at work. It could be related to health, maybe your own health issues, or maybe your loved ones. Maybe there's something you judge yourself about, like something that you felt like you shouldn't have done or said. So just the normal everyday things. So maybe you find a situation where you have felt maybe some fear, anxiety, some guilt, or maybe irritation. Maybe you have been hurt, or maybe you've been feeling helpless. So now really, and if you can't find any situation and it just stops in your mind, that's perfectly fine. Just let it be and just pick it up if you can. So let's go to recognizing, which is just to bring this situation very close, to really just recognize, what is this about? Maybe you see in your mind's eye, you see the person or the persons that are involved. And also see what mood or which emotion is the strongest. Again, it could be fear, it could be worry, anxiety, maybe anger, guilt. See if you can find a name of what you are aware of. And maybe there are many emotions at the same time, could be a combination. And then the next step is just to allow, which means, again, it's the acknowledgement. It's just, okay, this is what I'm feeling. These emotions are here now. And it's okay, even if it's unpleasant. So not to fix it, not to try to change it. This is just here now. And then moving on to this step of investigation, where you bring your curiosity and just like the exploration, because when we will try to see like these emotions, how do they express themselves in the body? So when I feel this, whatever you are feeling, see if you can track the body. And often emotions, they show up in the belly or in the chest, or maybe in the throat or in the face. So just see for yourself if you can sense some tensing, maybe some aching, maybe tightness. And what you also could do is just to very gently place a hand where you feel most sensations. Maybe if there's a tension in the belly or in the chest, and just to place a hand there, very like soft and gently. Just to contact this vulnerable place inside. This place where there's a feeling of failure or fear, sadness, maybe loneliness, whatever. And then you may ask the question to yourself, like what does this place need? What does this vulnerable place most need? So this vulnerable place of feeling of fear, for example, what does it need? So could it be that there are emotions and vulnerabilities that just need attention, kindness, just having the allowance just to be? Maybe they need companionship or love, care. So it's an exploration of seeing if you are able to offer yourself And these vulnerable places, some kindness, some care. As we often give to others, are we able to maybe offer some kindness, some support to our own fear or sadness or whatever it is? And you may just let it go. And whatever you are feeling or not feeling, it's okay. Maybe this made sense and maybe it didn't. And that's also fine. So again, just before we end, just feel your body. You're sitting. You're breathing. And then you return to the group and the screen. So guys, how was this received by you? Did it make any sense to go through the body, to really feel, be in the body with the emotions, and then to offer some kindness?
I want to say that I can really feel that the more you're getting into it and learning to just relax and using all the things that you are saying and breathing and the kindness to yourself and yeah, I believe that every time I do this, I think it's getting better and better. You have good days, worst day, but still it's a lot easier to just trying to breathe and to concentrate on yourself.
Yeah. Good. It takes practice. Good to hear that you feel like there's, it's improving in a way just by doing it.
A little bit every day I've tried, and I think it's hard with all the thoughts and like I said before, but also when you calm down and get into it, you just feel that you're getting in a flow, I believe. So I feel it's really great.
Yeah, good. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm aware of the time, so I want to respect the time, and I have put my email address at the end, so please, if you have any questions or want any advice or tip or anything, just please write me. So I just wanted to end with how to get started. So if you want to try this, to see if can this mindfulness practice be something that I can benefit from. Its first step is just to remember to sometimes pause, to pause, to take a breath, and you can do it anytime, anywhere. You don't have to close your eyes. You can just like make an internal pause. Sorry. It's an extremely profound, technique, but it's difficult to remember, but it's a good step. And then you have the audio files, which is called the formal practice, where I have links. You can find a lot of things on the internet, and I have links for you. And yes, you have all your life to just bring this, the sensing, the being in the body. You can practice it while showering. You can practice it while brushing your teeth. You can practice it in nature to really, be in nature and not be lost in thought while you are in nature. And in communication, it's really my recommendation to try it out. To how is it for me, like the next person you will talk to this evening, for example, to really stay as much as you can in the body. How will that be? To be present while you're listening or while you're speaking. The possibilities are endless, and usually, like traditionally, we recommend both doing some audio files and also practicing in every way you can during the day. Both are equally important. And then here are some websites with free audio files. And the one we did now, which has to do with handling emotions, it's the rain. And you see it's here. So if you think that is something for you, please check it out. And apps, there are some really good apps out there. And these are my favorites. And yeah, these are really good ones. So check them out if you want. Oh, and they are usually, you have to pay for them. And it's like what you pay for is generally has a higher quality. But I think they have like maybe 1 month free trial. So, but I find it to be worth the money. And then of course go to a course if you are really interested, and you can do live face-to-face courses some places, depends on the corona restrictions, but there are many online offerings. But what I recommend is if you want to do a course, do a live sessions. Don't sign up for a course where you just follow on your own pace. Really commit to like this, every Wednesday and meet a group live. It's just so much more strong and efficient. And there's a link here to some really good courses if that's interesting for you. So, and please again write me if you have any questions. I will be happy to help you. And then I have a few, then I even spent more time. So thank you for your very kind attention and questions and comments. And thank you, Astrid and Maiken, for trusting me and inviting me.
Thank you. And I think we will just let everybody know that we will share these resources in an email also, and also maybe possibly on the web page where we have the recorded version of this. So people can go there and find it now, or they will have them also in an email to explore.
Mm.
So thank you so much, everybody, for taking part in this. I think it's been a really good, nice experience for us, and certainly we trusted you, Mari, and you were accomplishing what we wanted, and that's really been a pleasure to have you here and guide us through this. So thank you so much. And let's see, maybe we can repeat this sometime. That could be nice.
Yeah, I'd be happy to.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Good.
Thank you
so much. Yeah, everybody who's been here and taking part and sharing, really meaningful for all of us, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then I say good night. It's really dark here, and I guess most of it.
Yeah.
Mm. Take care.
Stay safe.
Good night. So nice to see you all.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. See you.